Hello everyone, I'm coming to you from the Arboretum and it's really beautiful here. Getting ready for Shabbos and just very grateful. So I want to talk today a little bit about Lag Baomer, and it's coming up on Moshe Shabbos. And you know, Lag Baomer is such a mystical time. It's such a mystical time that we almost don't know what to do with it. So I'm going to spend around 2 minutes just catching you up on what Lag Baomer is, and then we're going to get into what it is, okay? So first, breathe wherever you are. Just take a breath. If you could get outside to listen, oh my gosh, come and join me. It's beautiful. Here, check it out. I got a little pond behind me. Yeah, okay. Every time I come here, it looks different, and I'm just like, wow, life is moving. It's amazing. So a really quick 2-minute review about Lag Baomer, okay? In Lag Baomer, 2 things are happening simultaneously, and honestly, I can't wait to share the connection between these 2 things with you that for my entire life, I never knew. And 2 things. So the first thing that happened is that it is the Yartzai, the anniversary of the death of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. So Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai was a great sage who had to go into hiding because he lived at a time when you were not allowed to be learning Torah, and he was accused of speaking against the government. So he went into hiding with his son in a cave for 12 years. During those 12 years, they were sustained by a carob tree. They learned Torah. Something very crazy about them, that they wanted to keep their clothing fresh for Shabbos, and so they actually were undressed and they buried themselves in sand up until their neck so that they could save their clothing for Shabbos. There they learned in holiness. Eliyahu HaNavi himself came and taught them. When they came out of the cave, their holiness was such that the first thing they saw a man working his fields. The first thing that happened is that his fields burnt up. And they heard a voice, and the voice said, "Go back to the cave." So they had to go back to the cave for a 13th year. When we'll understand, there's a plane, we'll understand in a little bit about why that 13th year was necessary, but it's so easy to see just from here, like, you can't burn people with your holiness. You can't look at someone with an eye that's going to burn them. It doesn't matter how holy you are. It doesn't matter if you learned Torah day and night and survived on a little carob and studied with Eliyahu HaNavi. It doesn't matter. If you're going to burn people with your holiness, if the mere sight of you is going to make them shrivel up and they won't feel love in your presence, then go back to your cave. Literally, that's what Hashem said. So they went back to their cave. Now, when Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai was nifter, when he passed away, the gift that he left was the gift of the Zohar, the secrets of the Torah. And so Lag Baomer is the anniversary of the Zohar. It's the birthday. We call it the Matan Torah of Torah's Nister. That means it's like the giving of the Torah of the hidden Torah. All the hidden Torah was born on that day, which is very exciting for us, especially in our days before Mashiach. All this hidden Torah, all this Kabbalah is being revealed. We spill out Kabbalah secrets just like all the time. And for people who are watching, I just want to say that I see you watching, and I hope that I'm going to be able to continue to share with you properly and also possibly upload this elsewhere. And that's why I'm not interrupting to give my usual hellos. But I see your names coming up, and I'm very glad to be in this moment with you. So glad. So that's one thing that happened, it's on that night, the whole Torah of a whole hidden Torah is revealed, available for us to revel in. The other thing that happened is that during the days of Svira, and we'll do this pretty quickly because it happened so quickly, for 33 days, all 24,000 of Rabbi Akiva's students died. And the reason that they died is because Lo nahagu kavod zeh bazeh, they did not treat each other with respect. And the crazy part is that Rabbi Akiva, who was their student, his main teaching was V'ahavta l'reacha kamocha, love your fellow man like yourself. So this is very confusing. Finally, on the 33rd day of the Omer, Lag Baomer, the plague stopped and the dying stopped, so to speak. And that's why we have all this mourning during Sfira. So Lag BaOmer is coming. We're going to light some fires. We're going to dance around a fire. This year I'm very excited that I'll be with a group of women. I don't know if it's hard for any other women. Something that's always hard for me is to just stand and watch other people dance around a fire, or just watching other people dance when I want to be dancing. So I didn't seek to create a space, but Hashem intervened, and the retreat this year is on Lag BaOmer. So I'll have a space with the women, and it makes me curious, like maybe it's time for women to something. There's some new space opening up. That's what I'm feeling. I don't know, but that's what's happening in my world over here. And what is this all about? And one really important thing to know is whenever you have a yontif, you want to have the intention. The intention makes all the difference. When you know what you're there for. I mean, how many times you just, you have to know the context. You can't just see, like, if you're seeing a show, you can't just see the end of the show. You won't appreciate it. That's what it's like when you get into a yontif and you're unprepared. It's like, here's the chicken soup, but you can't appreciate what this is all about. You got to know. So, okay, let's begin. So, the day of Lag BaOmer is called Hod Shebahod. Hod Shebahod means one second, let me just walk over here. Hod Shebahod is actually the lowest, believe it or not, of all of the spheros. It's the lowest of all the spheros. And that is when Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, who was the highest of the high, passed away. That's when all this is happening. And why was that? Because Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai was so high that his love and his light, that his love and his light reached the lowest of the low. The higher the tzaddik, the deeper his impact reaches. He's like the sun. The sun, you've got to try this wherever you are. Just like open up the crack in the window a drop, and right there you're going to get a sunbeam wherever you are. You could be in a dungeon. You can literally be in a dungeon. And then if you open up just a little crack, you're going to get light when the sun's there. And Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, he was like Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu was, he like literally saw Hashem. He literally spoke to Hashem. He was literally in the heavens. And then when the Jews sinned with the golden calf, and we had the Chet HaEgel, what did he say to Hashem? He said, Mecheni na misifrecha, get me out of your Torah, because guess what? I'm with them. It doesn't matter how low they are. So the light of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai is so bright and beautiful that anyone, no matter what place in your life you're in, no matter how depressed you are, no matter how bad you feel about yourself, no matter what things you're doing wrong, on that night and that day of Lag BaOmer, closeness to Hashem is available to you the same way as if you could catch sunlight. You would just catch it in a cup, even if it's coming through a dungeon, crack in a dungeon window, you could catch it. That's the same way on Lag BaOmer, you can catch this light and you can bathe in this light of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. And it says that this is Mashiach, and this is all from the son of Rebbe. He says that Mashiach is going to love, he uses the word garua. Garua means technically disgusting, or like moldy and gross. Mashiach is going to love the lowest of the low. So if you've ever felt like you're in the lowest of the low place, know that the highest of the high love is available for you. Just looking over here, I took a few notes and I want to just take a look at them. So my daughter Batya told me something today very interesting from Rabbi Zakatinsky, and he was talking about Kabbalah, and he was talking about, because remember this is the birthday of Kabbalah, is Lag BaOmer, and he was talking about Sephardim and Ashkenazim, that the Sephardi Torah is in the big picture and the Ashkenazi gift of Torah is in the small picture. If you're not familiar with Sephardi and Ashkenazi, this might not make sense to you. It's okay. But the main point to understand is that Kabbalah, and I'm not, it's always funny when like a little lady in a tichel is talking about Kabbalah, but let's do it to the best of our understanding. Kabbalah, the secrets are the big picture. They're the big picture. They're what's really going on. I'm going to take you in this garden. You just got to look around. Because the more you spend time with trees, the more you see, like, there is such a big picture. I can't even tell you how spiritual these trees are. Kabbalah is the big picture, right? And then the Torah that we learn is the little pieces sometimes of that big picture. So how does the Torah of Kabbalah connect with the students of Rabbi Akiva dying? Because they didn't see the big picture in one another. Did you ever see someone who's just acting obnoxious? I bet you did. They're acting obnoxious, and all you see is their behavior. You're not seeing the big picture, who they are, where they came from. You ever see someone who's depressed and you're like, snap out of it, and you get all judgmental? You're not seeing where they're coming from. You're not seeing the secrets, the big picture. That there is not only a big picture to the entire person. They weren't born depressed. Let's just say that. Stuff happened, or maybe stuff is happening right this minute. And in the big picture, this depression may be the exact thing that they even need in order to get the help they need, in order to get to the next step. Who knows? Who really knows in the big picture? You know, in Megillas Esther, there's an incredible moment where Mordechai says to Esther, he says, Umi odea. He continues on. He's saying to Esther, who knows if for this reason you were sent to the palace? Now remember that Esther herself, think about what she looked like to the outside world. To the outside world, do you know what she looked like? She looked like this Jewish girl, and she had her moment in the limelight. And then what was the rest of her life? Princess in the palace. Many of them probably thought, she's so lucky, she doesn't have to do dishes, she's just living the life, and she could get anything she wants, she's getting all this fancy clothes and these servants, oh, look at her. And really, what was she? Trapped? What would she yearn for? Just a simple life? And who knows? Who really knows? When Mordechai asks Esther, Umi odea, it's like a question of Torah Nister. It's a question of Kabbalah. You know, the whole story of Purim is about the hiddenness of Hashem, and we see the hiddenness of Hashem in people's lives. Who knows why anything happens when you look at another person? Who really knows? And there she was, trapped, and there's people judging her that she's living the life. And there she is thinking, possibly, we're pretending, I have the worst life, I wish I could go home. And here she is being celebrated for eternity. And you know, clearly her neshama would choose and chose that moment of trappedness so that she can do this for Klal Yisrael for eternity. So there's a great many secrets. And there's secrets in our own lives. How did we even become the people that we became? Do you ever think about that? I mean, think about your parents. Think about who they are. Think about who you are and the things that make you happy and sad and all the choices that you've made in your life. Like, how did you become the way that you became? I just think it's a fascinating thing to think about. It's such a mystery. Umi odea, like, where in the world did you come from? So while I was in this garden over here, well, for those of you just joining, I'll just take you around here. It's so amazing. Yeah, there's the path. While I was in this garden over here, I started singing a song. It just came to me. And one of the songs that I was singing, I'm not going to sing it for you now, but it goes, V'heshiv lev avos al banim, v'lev banim al avosav. And the hearts of the fathers will return to their sons, and the hearts of the sons will return to their fathers. And, you know, I'll tell you the truth. I've sang that song since probably 8th grade, but today I heard something different. Because what I've been learning about recently is that inner child, is that self that had all of the experiences that made you you. And I've been learning about how we adapted. Okay, let me, there's two things going on. Number one, how the pain of childhood and any confusion of childhood created adaptive tendencies, which maladaptive tendencies, and how that, if we don't look at it, can become us right now. So I'll just give you a quick example. If there was a child whose boundaries were violated, then they can have an adaptive tendency to put up a wall. And that's the way that they protect themselves, perhaps for the rest of their life, unless they teach themselves to trust again, unless they go back and reparent that little child and let her know that now it's safe. Or maybe a child was taught that they just had to be good all the time. So then they will learn to either be rebellious because their inner self is just rebelling, and the adaptive behavior is to rebel. Or they'll learn to be a perfectionist. So sorry about that. My daughter's going to call and it's going to get interrupted. So that's one piece of the inner child. And I forgot the other piece because I just got distracted. But the point is over here, the beautiful, beautiful point is that as we come to understand that our life is a mystery, we can actually go back to this child and v'heshiv lev avos al banim. We can actually return the child to their father. You can reparent that little place. And that's that is geula, that is redemption, and that is addressing the fact that there is this hidden world, that there is a big picture to our behavior, to other people's behavior, that there's more to it than meets the eye. If you don't know this song, listen to the beginning of it. Hine anochi sholech lechem es Eliyahu hanavi. Behold, I will send to you Elijah the prophet. Lifnei ba yom Hashem agadav hanara. Before the day, the great and awesome day of Hashem comes. V'heshiv lev avos abanim v'lev banim al avosav. And then, what will happen? It's so crazy, it just blows my mind. I will send Eliyahu Navi before the great day of redemption comes, and what will happen at that time is the hearts of the fathers will return to their son, and the hearts of the son will return to their fathers. It blows my mind. So before redemption, what is our work? To take a look at those places in ourselves and to wonder, what is the big picture here? What are the secrets here? What's the Kabbalah of my soul? What is not the nitpicky, not the halacha of my soul, the external. You know, the halacha is, we say that all of Judaism, the whole Torah is just to connect us to Hashem. And what is halacha? Halacha is halicha, the way to get there. It tells you, here's a couple of things that you should do, 613 things that you should do to get to that closeness with Hashem. But what you really want is closeness. And not only closeness, devekus. Do you know what devekus means? It means like devek, like glue, stuck, close together. If you have in yourself a place that is self-loathing, a place that is so hard on yourself, a place that is so judgmental, a place that thinks that you have to do it all, a place that is unhealed, that place cannot be glued to Hashem. Because that place is maladaptive. It's glued to your old story, to the story that is waiting to be healed in this moment of v'heshiv lev avos al banim v'lev banim al avosav. And the light of Lag Baomer, and you know, it's so funny. I'm just going to laugh for a minute at Judaism because I think it's hilarious and it's gorgeous. But every holiday we end up saying the same thing. People who unfortunately don't have the chance to study or don't know say, what are Jewish holidays? They tried to beat us. We were saved. Let's eat. That's the tragedy, man. That's the opposite. That is just the absolute opposite of what it's all about. No, no, no. What it's all about is an opportunity to be saved. It's not they tried to hurt us, let's eat because we were saved. It means that every single holiday is an opportunity for saving. What is saving? complete salvation, a turnaround in yourself, get ultimate healing, turn around in your relationships, start looking at people in a brand new way, have a conversation that you really don't want to have, talk to Hashem like you never spoke to him before, be there for your family in a way that takes courage. That's what a Jewish holiday is. Pesach is redemption. It's freedom. Yes, you get to be free from all those old things. Purim, the day when when we say you can ask Hashem for anything, his hand is wide open. Shavuos, he's going to give us the Torah. We have a chance to accept it again. I mean, Yom Kippur, again, a day of atonement. We could just start fresh. The Rosh Hashanah, head of a new year. We get to start fresh. The Jewish calendar is just begging us, like literally begging us to do our inner work. That's what it's begging us. And on Lag Baomer, we celebrate that fact. We celebrate that it's about the Torah's nister. Everything that's hidden is being revealed. We celebrate that there is more to they hate us, let's eat, and when they hate us, we're saved and let's eat. And there's more to life than life is hard, but we're getting through it, so let's eat, and let's overeat, and let's complain, and let's just, do the next day and the next day and stick our phones in our faces. There's so much more to it. And on Lag Baomer, we get to dance in that, to be in that, to swim in that. And I'll say something to you that I always say to myself. I always have to say to myself, catch the moment. Catch the moment. Do you know that the last 2 days, I have been more drained than I've ever been in the last couple of years. And all the stuff that I was doing was really good stuff. I was helping people. Yay for me. But by the time I got to bed, there was nothing left of me. Nothing. And I know that when there's nothing left of me, this is not good. This is really not good. Someone was by my house, they'll forgive me. They were like mid-sentence. And I said, you know what, I'm sorry, I'm all peopled out. I'm just like, peopled out. You got to go. And they were kind enough to leave and not take it personally. And I was happy enough to know that I could say that after like a couple of decades of not knowing that I could say such things. But yes, I was done. And you know what I realized? This phone that I'm enjoying right this very minute, it's an energy sucker. Even when I'm doing good things with it, it's an energy sucker. There's something in it that blocks energy. There is a book called The View from Above. And you can read this book, and I think I mentioned it recently. In this book, this woman has a near-death experience. She actually leaves her body. She sees herself. She tells her account. And when she comes back, it's amazing because she's a secular Israeli, and she's trying to make sense of this. But one of the things that she saw right away, she was still like in that zone where she was seeing light. She saw that these machines, these computers, these phones, they block the light. Like she saw that they block the light. She saw it. She saw the light. She saw the blocking. And so Lag Baomer is going to come. It's on a Sunday. Motzi Shabbos Sunday. And there are so many things that can happen on that day. There just so are. There's community events. There's people. But if you're going to want to even touch the moment of the Heishiv Lev Avos Al Banim V'Lev Banim Al Avosav, if you want to touch the moment of Torah Sinister, what's the hidden Torah in your heart? The only way that you're going to be able to do that is if you get quiet, is if you put away the phone, is if you're in your heart for a little while. Because we're talking about Lev Banim Al Avosav. Here I'm going to give myself a piece of musar. And I wouldn't be giving it to you if I didn't give it to myself. It's not talking about, and it will return the hearts to other people. How nice and how many good things you're doing for other people. That's what Eliyahu Hanavi is going to bring to you. No. And it's not talking about your brain. And this, I'm again giving musar to myself. How many things you can organize. How many things you can accomplish. That's not the gift before Mashiach. The gift that will bring Mashiach. The gift of this era is that your heart is returned. Guess to whose heart? To your heart. That's right, to your heart. Not to your mind, not to your plans, not to your distractions. It takes place in a heart place. So we are winding down now, and yeah, I want to take you on a little walk over here. I want to give you a little inspiration, okay? I'm going to show you something. So today, when I was out here, here's the garden over here. I always look at the trees because the trees, I don't know, I got a thing with trees. Some people have a thing with birds, or I don't know. I got a thing with trees. And every time when I'm out here in the garden, the different trees speak to me, and I'm like, I'm doing my thing, and then I look up and there's a tree that's speaking to me. So I want to just show you today's tree. So don't go away. Stay with me. It's coming because it's a message for all of us. Where's my tree? Give me a sec. Getting closer. Come on. Where's my tree? Oh, I hope I could find it. If not, I'll have to take a picture. Oh, here it is. Okay. Yeah. 1 second. There's my tree. I'll see if you can see it. Yeah. And from far away, what it looks like is it looks like a big, tall, endless tree. And down there is a little hand holding a hug. See the little hugging hands? Yeah. There it is. That's the hugging hands. And as I'm thinking about Lag Baomer, that's the message that came, is there's this love waiting for us from above. And Hashem will meet us in the lowest of the low places. So don't be scared to go there. And I want to give us all a blessing for Dvekas, for true connection with Hashem, for that the hearts of the fathers should be returned to their sons, that the light of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai should penetrate us. And remember, even when it comes to the sun, you can put up blackout blinds. It is possible, if you really want to even block out the sun. Do you realize that? That is crazy. That means that all this light is available, and where are you? You are not even enjoying it. So I bless us all, and I beg us all that this Lag Baomer, we should open our hearts to the sun, put away the distractions, and really be with the day and with the love that's available for the day. Be brave to do the inner work. Check our actions. Take note that every holiday is another chance for rejuvenation. And may we merit to greet Mashiach together. All right, guys, have a beautiful, beautiful Shabbos. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye-bye.